my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we got our best build for the assassin class. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, notification bell so you don't miss a video when we go live. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. I should have another Sprite Fantasia video out later today about how to play this on PC. To that, I do have a few sponsored videos that I have to take care of, so our next video after today probably won't be until Thursday or Friday. We're going to cover a build for the Berserker class and the Necromancer, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. But without further ado, let's jump into this assassin build and not make this too long. I got a lot to do. So there's three different builds we can go with. We have our bleed build, our wrath build, and our ambush build. All right, so first up we have combo thrust, skill range, straight line, inflict enemy with 1 bleed stack that lasts 8 seconds, 6-second cooldown, very simple. We also then have our leaping execution, straight line, inflict enemy with a bleed stack for 8 seconds. We then have another one where it's just going to inflict enemy with 1 bleed stack for 8 seconds, 2 charges. And then finally our wombo combo, we finish it up with returner slash, which we deal extra 30% physical damage for each bleed stack to targets with bleed, and we remove it. So ultimately you want to have 5 stacks on your opponent before you activate this beast mode ability. You'll benefit more if you play this manually. This is one of the harder classes to play as because it's very combo oriented. Out of the 3 builds that we're going to show off today, the bleed one is probably the most reasonable to set on auto as opposed to the other 2, which are definitely more combo heavier than the bleed. We have 2 charges for this, so we have 2, 3, 4. So potentially we can get 4 stacks right off. Now, do keep in mind though that this is going to last for 8 seconds. This is also a 6-second cooldown for this ability. We're going to reduce this in our mastery, so it's actually going to end up only being, I believe, like 3.5 seconds, is it? So we're going to reduce a lot of these cooldowns, so you will be able to get 5 stacks on your opponent before you activate your return slasher ability. Let's go over to the mastery real quick, and like I was saying before, you just kind of want to focus on reducing the cooldowns. So for instance, we go right here to the first one. We just want to get this to the minimum of 5, so that way we can unlock the ability to reduce our cooldowns. And then the same thing over here, we're just with leaping execution, we're just going to reduce that, so that way we can reduce our cooldowns as well. Another option that you can do, and this is going to be really good late game when you have a lot of more points. Like right now I'm only level 51, so I only have like 15 points to distribute. But ultimately what you want to do is you want to unlock this. So your third basic attack will inflict enemies with bleed for 8 seconds. You really want to unlock this for the bleed build. It will help out so much. All right, next build we have is the Wraith Shade build. This is pretty much somewhat similar to the bleed build. So for the Wraith Shade ability, what it does is you gain 5% dark class skill damage, and you can have up to 3 stacks at once. So what we do is we go with the combo thrust, which again, straight line, gain a Wraith Shield stack 6 seconds. We then have gain Wraith Shield stack for 6 seconds. Then we have, again, gain Wraith Shield, pretty much the same as the bleed build. It's just taking the abilities that say Wraith Shade. And then if we go over here, again, same thing, we get 2 charges. So ultimately, we will be able to have 3 stacks very easily. And then again, our ultimate is going to deal a bunch of damage. And for each stack we have, we'll do extra dark physical damage. Now, one thing that I just wanted to keep in mind is there are 2 different variants along with the bleed ability. You'll notice you have the Deathly Finale, which is kind of like a super AoE ultimate where you will remove a bleed stack, or once you get this ability to level 50, you can use it for the Wraith Shade. This is like a big AoE attack. It has 7 attacks. It does a tremendous amount of damage, but the cooldown's very high, 16 seconds. If you're not looking to do a lot of AoE damage, and maybe you're trying to build this strictly for PvP, maybe solo arena or something like that, and you don't want to have that super duper long cooldown, what you can do is you'll just go over to the returner slash build, which is just pretty much the same effect as the Deathly Finale. The only difference is it's a lower cooldown. It doesn't do as much damage. It does more single target damage. So let's go back over here. Yep. And now let's take a look at the mastery real quick. So our main focus is going to be trying to get our dark class skill damage permanently increased. That's right here. You want to get this one if you are going the Wrath Shade build, because all those abilities do dark physical damage. Increase our damage dealt. Then we're going to put 5 in here, and this will reduce our cooldown. And then ultimately now, once we get any more points, we can increase our dark class skill damage. And then the final build we have is the ambush build. This one is it's a little bit different. We have reduce other skill cooldowns by 1 second. This is very important because with this particular build, the ambush build, a lot of these abilities have really long skill cooldowns, and that's the biggest downfall to this. So you need to have this ability to reduce our other skill cooldowns. We're also going to reduce this in our mastery, so that way instead of this being a 6-second use, it'll only actually end up being 3.5, so 3.5. And then we have waiting game right here, which we gain ambush for 6 seconds. We also become invincible when the skill is active. Now what the ambush skill does is your received damage is reduced by 30%. You gain 50% move speed, but it fades when you attack an enemy. After you are in ambush mode, you then have 2 options. So we're either going to stun our opponent, and we get 2 charges for this. So we use this skill when ambushing to stun the enemy for 1.5 seconds, which is absolutely amazing. Stuns are very powerful. Or if we don't want to stun our opponent, we can then go with use the skill when ambushing to execute a combo, and we'll deal 50% extra of our original damage. So if we want to just put out tons of raw damage, we can do that, or we can use this as well. All right, and then for our mastery, we're going to go down here and we're going to notice Deathly Finale. We're going to increase the damage dealt. We're going to reduce the cooldown, and then we are going to increase our crit damage by 20%. So that ability just hits really, really hard. And then we go up here and we have healing increased by a percentage. Again, though, you ultimately look for skill cooldowns. Like, look for the abilities that are going to reduce your skill cooldowns. That's pretty much with a majority of the masteries. When you're building any mastery, you really want to look out for anything that kind of reduces your skills cooldown. So I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see y'all later with another video. Stay happy, stay safe, peace.